Check one.
And then the third set, they
They've done it again. Johan Durant and Steven Mitchell are the APTA national champions for the second year in a row.
There you have it, your women's APTA national champions, Florentina Harnisch and Anna Maria Sabori.
Invitational Grand Prix, sponsored by the APTA membership, our national sponsor Viking, and local sponsors Fast Tech Global, Cook Wealth Management, Grand Steel, GSD Companies, Wilson Partners, Etkin Real Estate Solutions, CBRE, Stash, Fortis Net Lease, Diag Partners, Bob Woodruff Foundation, The Boisterous Companies, Gen Oil, Dark Horse Breweries, and Jack McNaughton, playing paddle since 1970. I'm Mark Fisher, along with Brad Easterbrook, bringing you this blockbuster final between the number 1 and number 2 seeds, Durant Mitchell, Araya Parsons. Brad, this is as good as it gets.
You know, the number 1 and 2 seeds, and these guys have, would you say they have a little rivalry going, maybe?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, Brad, when Durant first started playing with Mitchell, Araya Parsons beat them 5 times that year. That was the year they won Araya's first national championship. Durant Mitchell turned the tide in Western New England a year later and had the upper hand in the rivalry for a while. And the last 2 have gone the way of Araya Parsons.
And, you know, so let's just quickly take a look at the players on the court, do a quick introduction. So on the far top left of your screen, Johan Durant in the cap and the, I guess, black puffy jacket. And his partner in the gray hoodie, Steven Mitchell. And here on the near side of the screen, with the white hoodie, the skull on the back, is Juan Araya, and his partner to his left is Mark Parsons. And let's take a quick look at the draw, and then we'll get back to the matches. So let's take a quick look at the draw. And here we go, Mark. I mean, both teams, I'd say Araya Parsons had just a great run of it. They haven't lost a set.
Yeah.
And they played a very tough team in Rams and Wagner and went through them like a hot knife through butter. I have to assume Rams and Wagner were a little gassed from their quarter.
I think not only were they gassed, but Crick and Lofgren were gassed. And this is what happens in these tournaments when you're playing 4 matches in a day. So much of it comes down to the draw and who your opponents have played earlier. It didn't work out for them at the Witch, where they had a tough first couple rounds and ran out of gas. Here they played Crick and Lofgren in the quarters after Crick and Lofgren had a 3.5-hour match and had nothing left. Then they played Rams and Wagner in the semis after they'd had a 3.5-hour match and had nothing left.
Serving first.
All right, so and Durant Mitchell just had a kind of a barber, 7-6 in the third against Compton McNerney. Looked like they had it well in hand, then it got away from him. So the umpire, Rob Laboon, who's in the chair, just gave the players their sort of last missives. They're gonna get started momentarily here, but let's talk really quickly about the Viking keys to victory, Mark.
So Bradford, it's a little bit of a contradictory. The first 2 find Mitchell and challenge Durant. They're going to be going after Mitchell a lot in the backcourt. But I think the thing that separates Araya Parsons from everybody else on the tour in this matchup is they like to go after Durant. They're not intimidated by him, and they don't mind playing him.
Right. No, it makes sense. You know, you got to hit at Durant, and by challenging him, what you mean is they'll also stand up to him. They're not afraid to go after him. Just like Araya Parsons when they played Compton McNerney the last time, they went after Compton. Most people just dump the ball over to Graham and dare him to drive a little bit, but they went after Compton. So same, you know, goes for them. They go after players.
And the final key to victory is take the net. I really believe, Bradford, the team who's going to win today is the team that's at the net more often, because these teams, especially Araya and Durant, have such tremendous attacking overheads that I just don't think you can beat them from the backcourt in a long match. Okay, so conversely for Durant, Mitchell served well in Chicago. We've seen a couple times where Mitchell's serve gets a little dicey in the big moments, so that's going to be important.
Yeah, it did yesterday. in the keys to the second set, they had to serve to get back in it, and they hadn't been killing them. Mitchell threw in a couple of faults, missed a volley, and boom, they go on 3 now, and it was 7-6 in the third. So
patient Durant is at the net, willingness to wait for the right overhead before he attacks, and finally the lob well to counteract the Araya spin overhead.
Yeah, and I think those are all great points. Both these teams are athletic as they come. They can play in transition. Mitchell's become an excellent blitzer, looking for opportunities to blitz, but of course we know Araya loves the exchange against everybody at the net for the most part.
Especially against Durant. He loves playing against Durant.
Yeah, because it fires him up.
Mark Parsons to serve to Johan Durant.
Now we see the sun heavy into the corner on this side here. We wonder if that'll make a difference, but I guess time will tell.
Araya has really taken his game to another level. I mean, it's just amazing. He's turning 45 next year, and to be playing the way he's playing, it's just hard to understand. I'm going to give a big shout out to his son Timo, who's watching in Buenos Aires. We have fans all over the world, Bradford.
All over the world, Mr. Fischel.
Timo told me he was really watching to hear your commentary.
Oh, good drive there, transition. We're going to see a lot of this during the day. And we're going to see, and both teams are very comfortable switching in the backcourt, which they just did. You see Durant and Mitchell, and that'll put Durant on the other side. Now Parsons hits good attacking overheads at the crease, but he won't do the most of the attacking work there. So when they put Durant over the other side, it forces him to try to break down him in the ad court, which Araya will still try to do.
And they move Durant around where they think the spin's going to be the most. So against Hughes and Powers, Durant will play the deuce to counteract Hughes' spin. Against Araya, Parsons will play the ad during the course of play. Always returns from the deuce, because Mitchell really likes returning from the ad.
All right,
Three
so
errors from Durant that game.
yeah, 2 drive errors, and you mentioned a patient Durant. It's kind of always that fine line when you have such talent. You watch guys like Durant play, Philippe Rams, they...
Brad, there are no guys like Durant.
Correct. You're right. That's a fair statement. But they have so many options, and they can affect change at a point at any time. The question is whether they're going to make errors doing it. So it's a balance. Right now it's the early stages. You just got to find his rhythm and his range. If anything, I thought he might have been a little too conservative last night in his match in the semifinal.
Okay, Durant to serve to Juan Araya in the bright pink, neon pink.
I try to avoid any fashion commentary on Juan Araya just because it's more like don't get me started.
Because there's no fashion involved.
Don't get me started. That's a great play. Durant with the dink and blitz.
His movement is just unparalleled.
Covered distance is such a great, 1 or 2 strides.
Doesn't look like he's moving quickly. He's just there all the time. Jerry Vian calls it the extendo arm.
And here's the other ways that it's always been a great matchup, because you could have Durant try to attack that side screen, but then he's got to go towards the Parsons backhand, and he's one of the best players at taking a spin overhead before it gets to the screen and driving it, actually.
They had some success in the past with Parsons hitting that hard roller at him, baiting him to drive it off the deck. And in Chicago, we started letting him hit the wires, and Parsons is one of, if not the best, wire drivers in the game.
by the exact same shot back. Beautiful transition play. We're going to see a ton of that.
Oh, what a volley from Durant off the lead court. Bradford, at this point, is an indication of what we have to come. It's going to be an awfully fun couple hours.
Yeah, I anticipate this point happening all the time. A lot of back and forth, probing looking to attack. There should be plenty of blitzes, and there's the good cut.
That's all you have to do to win a point. Wasn't that difficult?
I mean, I don't know why he didn't do it earlier. See, that's a great move, and Araya, he actually likes returning, I think, these rolling serves as well or better than the others. He hits them forward like he's hitting an approach shot, moves in, sticks it. Now, these are two teams, though, you know, you talk about placing the ball in the backcourt in a safe spot. There are very few to no spaces that are completely safe. You can't just dump the ball. You have to be on your toes almost all the time.
Which is what makes the overhead so absolutely critical.
In this case, the safest spot on the court against Araya Parsons is through the middle, right? Towards the Araya backhand, or even pushed to the Parsons forehand like that, right? Those are your safe spots, but these guys will still, Parsons will still crack a forehand here and there. He'll just be more judicious with it. And Araya, it's a sharp one-hander that he spots and follows up with blitzes. And he does it, and he holds it so long sometimes it's hard to see it coming.
A tremendous weapon.
That's a great overhead. He lets it go, but it's low, and it hits the crossbar and shoots right into Araya.
Point for 1-all.
That's a great blitz.
And I think you'll see them blitzing the Durant serve more than the Mitchell serve, because Durant moves so much when Mitchell serving.
And there you saw that evidence before about challenging Durant. He's coming in, and Araya's going right at him. It's a good play. It's got to make him think.
Yes.
That's a
Great
good
lob
shot.
from Araya catches Mitchell not sliding over.
He didn't shift over. I think he thought Durant was just going to play that next ball.
Which is always a good thought, honestly. Yeah, you talked about it a little, Bradford, but Araya's backhand is such a dangerous shot. There's so many things off of it.
It is. I still think it's the safer place to go, though.
Yeah.
I mean, but it
what
is a
volley
very
from
good shot.
Parsons. He pegs Durant, and it's 2-love.
Perfect. Great play there. I don't think Mitchell realized that Parsons was all over the net there. And it wasn't that it was a bad screen drive, but that's the tricky part about driving off the screen in transition. If you don't know where your opponent is, Parsons was camped out right on the net.
Boy, Araya Parsons look super sharp early.
They look great. I mean, that game looked like Durant Mitchell were playing better, getting their feet underneath them a little bit, but it just that quick blitz brought it back to deuce, and then two great points from Araya Parsons. All right. I think it touched him.
Yeah,
So
I think it
Durant,
touched Durant
great
ran the way
sportsman,
through.
calls it on himself. I didn't really
Durant
see
is
it.
just, as all four guys are, Durant is just a tremendous sportsman, Bradford. Big return there from Mitchell.
Yeah, I think Mitchell's return will also be one of the keys to victory. When he returns well, it just puts so much pressure on the other team because they're always at the net, Mitchell and and Durant. And oftentimes it is a key to victory for them as well.
When they're at the net 80% of the match, they're going to win.
There you go. Great shot from Mitchell. 2 good strikes in this game. Great ball.
Durant looks at his paddle. That clearly must have been his paddle.
30-40.
I mean, I've seen Durant miss hit maybe 3 balls in the last 10 years.
He doesn't miss it that many. His timing is exceptional on that forehand, but Araya does challenge you with the return, with the serve every time. He comes at you hard. You could let it go to the screen, but then he gets in quicker to the net when you do that. But that last one was pretty hard. Just couldn't quite handle it.
Big point here early in the match, Bradford.
Right through, great ball, nice transition.
Oh. I think Araya had about 1 board to hit that ball into and found it.
That's just getting him leaning back and away.
Good deep overhead from Araya.
It's a good shot. Durant could have moved a little more there, but maybe shouldn't have driven at all. Tough one.
Parsons has volleyed so well yesterday.
What a great sneak from Durant.
And that's something that no one else in the game does. The way Durant kind of sneaks in and hits that first volley from the service line and manages to get it low at your knees.
Yeah, he's just got great hands. He's just taking the pace off and basically pushing it. It's like a version of a pickleball dink to a degree. He's pushing it towards the opponent's feet. Just got the feel for it.
Another break point.
Crushing returns in this game. I love how he's moving up the wire.
Look for Durant Mitchell to switch in the backcourt. It looked like Araya had a beat and just extended that arm out.
Ah. So trying quick drive, then he tries the half volley lob, which can work. It steals time from your opponent, but it's not always easy to execute.
Parsons' son Maddox watching intently, front row seat.
They're going down the middle like we talked about. If there's a safer spot, that's it. Now, these overheads are putting any pressure on them, though. So it's interesting. They're not really going for pressure overheads. They're actually keeping it kind of slower. There's a good volley attack.
Great cover from Parsons. Durant was pretty certain about that one.
He was definitely making his feelings known. And there he gets beat. Araya goes after him, and that's the way he's going to play. You know, I mean, he had to hit that right on the line.
This is a tremendous exchange. Great paddle early, Bradford.
Yeah, great stuff. I mean, really looked great there. Mitchell didn't miss a return in that game. Took those returns early. That's a really good sign.
I was talking about Durant sportsmanship. I remember watching him play a match against SD Stulak a few years back, obviously a few years back. And there was a point at 4-all in the breaker in the first set where Stulak played a ball that looked like was out, and Mike Stulak's renowned for playing out balls. Durant goes on to win the point, and they're switching signs, and Durant says to him, "Do you think that ball was out?" Mike said, "I'm not sure." And Durant says, "I think it was out. 5-4, you guys."
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty remarkable thing to do.
He actually changed the game score.
Yep, changed the tiebreak score.
Wow.
Okay, an early fault from Mitchell. We're going to have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, it is definitely one of the keys. You know, we were talking about this and how the underhand serves become prevalent. Some people hitting at different sides, but we've seen in the day. I mean, look, we've seen issues with overhand serves over the years too, many times. With a lot of incredible players.
Scott Estes went through a period of time where he couldn't get serve.
Yeah, he had to push it in and stay back.
Yep.
You know, and it happens at every type of serve, but the underhand serve is still evolving. You know, we saw it yesterday. Adam Morgan had tremendous problems with his underhand serve. You know, in the match, and usually he's been one of the most reliable of all time. So. Interesting on the day, though. I feel like for this tournament, I've seen only a couple of these matches, but I watched the match yesterday with Durant, and he's hitting 75% rollers, like on balls that are low and in that I think are perfect balls to start to cut and slash. He's kind of already in the Western grip and just hitting a roller.
What do you think the reason for that is?
I have no idea. It could just be that you get in a mindset, you do one thing, and then you just keep doing it, and you lose track of the others. Nice ball.
Great spot from Mariah there.
Mitchell tried to close, tried to cut it off, but just a
30
great
all.
spot. That's out. 2 faults.
40.
See if Mariah takes some balls down Durant's line. Parsons as well. I mean, there's no question that Mariah moves so often. You've got to keep him honest.
Great drop volley there from Durant.
Bad miss from Parsons, though. That's ball's got to go back and play.
Big yell, how do you miss once you get there? And there's a perfect self-blitz there from Mariah.
Mr. Parsons.
Just a pink blur. It's like a can of Pepto-Bismol coming after you.
There we see Parsons going at Durant. Stays home. You had a lot of cans of Pepto-Bismol coming at you, Bradford?
No. No. Just
Another screen drive from
bottles.
Mitchell.
Bottles.
Mariah
Oh,
Parsons. They lead 3
So,
games to
to
1.
your point earlier,
First
Bradford,
set.
same exact point there, where Mitchell takes the screen drive, doesn't see where Parsons is, and he tags Durant again. 3-1, Mariah Parsons.
That's just great. That's where they're so good at. You start to take a little pace off the return because there's nobody there to hit at. And then the guys in the back who are exceptional in the ground strokes, you know, the Parsons, the Comptons, they drill the drive at you while you're trying to come in. It's no easy task. That's why it's such an effective play.
From Mitchell, but not good enough.
Mariah Parsons are just firing on all cylinders.
Parsons, as well as anybody in the game, the way he varies the pace of his drive. Seems like he's got 3 or 4 different paces he hits the ball at.
That's around the net post. Yep. It's fun to see, but if you hit the around the net post and it's easily returned, it's like,
Yeah, whatever.
A bummer. Just long.
Good swing there from Parsons, had the open court.
30-15. 40-15.
Point for 4-1. Parsons just coiled.
He just all over the net, Araya. They're sharp right now, like very sharp.
Lob long, confirmed by chair umpire Laboon, and it's 4-1. Durant looks at him quizzically. Introducing the Viking Axe. Bold, unique, innovative, groundbreaking. A perfect blend of both worlds. All Axe paddle models combine the superb maneuverability of the Ozone with the oversized head and stability of the Reignites. At 88.9 square inches, it's a truly oversized frame, but specifically designed for longer handles to accommodate the two-handed backhand, one of the most important shots in the modern game. Featuring Viking's proprietary carbon throat stability system for enhanced stability and shock reduction at contact. The Axe has a massive sweet spot that's very forgiving for balls outside of it. Viking rule the court. Bradford, what are you seeing so far?
I mean, just an incredibly sharp start for Araya Parsons, they're doing all the things we talked about in the keys to victory. And conversely, on the other side, Mitchell's thrown in a couple of faults early. Durant's not quite sharp yet. He doesn't seem to have his feet underneath us. So they're just applying all the pressure right now. And Durant and Mitchell are just missing some balls, but they're getting forced to miss balls too. It's not like they're just making errors. Araya Parsons is playing really well. And like a lot of these matches, Mark, sometimes you got to almost ride this out and wait for, because we've seen it before, how great a front runner is Araya and how good he can play. But then all of a sudden he'll miss a quick backhand drive, and then there could be 3 more errors. They're sort of hoping that comes, and they just got to tighten up their game a little.
New ball, they're switching on every 5 games in the final. Kudos to chair umpire Rob Laboon. He's done a great job. He and his umpires all weekend long.
It's a good one. He missed the spot on that, though. Got to hit that one towards the first panel in the back, not the side panel.
That's good overhead there. Beats Parsons in the corner.
Great overhead. He just misplayed it.
Don't see that too often.
Good pace there from Mitchell.
30-15.
What a move from Araya.
Great move.
And there you see the blitz on the Duran serve.
I mean, that's just an incredible volley, and he's going 75% of the times on the Parsons return. And do you think, like, Mitchell and Durant, they almost never do things like I formation, serve and post. Like they just sort of do it on their own. It doesn't seem like it's a plan. They may want one. They may want one here against the Parsons return. And it's not just the Parsons return. He's making the volleys. It's just the blitz after.
Yep. Well, the problem with it is when Durant's serving, Durant can't be at the net. If you could be both places, if anybody could be both places, it would be Durant.
But that's what I'm saying, though, Mark. Then maybe they should move Mitchell. Mitchell can cut off the volley and put it away. He's got the skill set for sure.
Right there, yep.
40-30.
Man, 2 faults a game. It's gonna kill you. In a tight match like this.
I usually aspire to only 2 faults, Brad. Point for 5-1. This thing is slipping away.
Parsons.
That's just a rocket ship. He'll dig it out. It's so funny. We talked about it. That was the one time Mitchell was looking for the move, and it's like Parsons knew. Ripped it down the line.
And Durant catches Araya leaning. This is the volley.
Parsons should have let that go to the screen and just bailed back. He wanted to stay forward. If he gets the ball off the deck, it makes him stay at the net a lot easier.
Great recognition from Duran.
This is a big game here. Mitchell. Huge difference between 4-2, 5-1.
Earlier, Bradford, it's interesting how few attacking overheads we're seeing from Durant Mitchell. Is that more about the lobbing from Araya Parsons and preventing him from doing it?
It definitely is not. There have been moments here. This is what they're doing. Araya Parsons are lobbing okay, but it's not like I'm seeing them ball after ball.
Forehand from Parsons through there. And you'll never see Parsons drive a low forehand. Almost exclusively, mid-waist height.
That's good advice for a lot of players.
There the blitz again. Forces the Durant error. Another point for 5-1.
Mr. Parsons.
And that time it was a blitz from the other way around. Araya returning and Parsons blitzing.
Great ball there from Parsons finding.
Oh, just back.
Mitchell forehand volley. Yep, can't miss that one.
Half volley, just pushes it about 2 inches long.
Oh, great ball from Araya.
That's an interesting thing. He asked the umpire, was it good? Which means he was calling it in and he just wanted to know. I think, or maybe it was a nice ball there. That time he gets up.
That was just an unbelievable volley by Durant to be able to flip his paddle and beat Araya with pace on a Parsons backhand drive.
That was just high enough. It didn't really get under the net, but great play. Just finding that forehand volley. Look at where they're spotting their drives.
No.
Araya with some missed lobs this game.
I mean, he's trying to hit these. The shots are all perfectly placed. He knows where they're hitting him and knows how they're trying to move around. He's just trying to make them too good.
Speaking of too good,
That was amazing.
Deuce.
Parsons is just ripping the ball right now.
Tell you what, it's
Gordon
just
Durant.
a gorgeous setting out here. You know, you can see if the sun, you got the lake in the background, pine trees, it's just beautiful. Great duck from Mitchell, and that was a huge game for Durant and Mitchell.
Lead, 4 games to 2, first set.
Puts them right in shape now. They're keeps them in this set. Certainly a comeback from 5-1 is doable, but significantly harder. And Araya and Parsons are just playing well. That was the first game where they had 2 to 3 donations.
Yeah, that was a ball that Parsons normally lobs. That was a lower forehand, and he missed it, and he knows it.
Well, there it was great too. You saw Durant really moving at the net, starting to attack back. Nice
Great
blitz
from Mitchell.
30.
That game that is going to change the whole tenor of the set. 6th game.
Certainly could.
Wow, that's just an absolute
40.
donation. What's
Well,
Parsons doing in the middle
like
of
we
the
were
court there?
talking about, I mean, Araya Parsons were playing excellent, like almost flawless type of paddle prior to this, and then they just had that one little move. It started with like a missed Araya lob, then another missed Araya lob, then a backhand out, and it's impossible to play. It's almost impossible to play. They were level playing at completely because they didn't make any errors and were bringing incredible offensive shots. But now we see him creep in, and now this is the moment for Durant and Mitchell.
4 consecutive errors that game. That was a complete donation.
Yep. And now we get back to one of the keys to victory. It's the Mitchell service game, right? So he's got to put it in the box. They've had 4 faults, a couple of faults in their first bunch of games. So they got to do 2 things: put it in the box and deal with the blitz.
Yeah. Although less blitzing on Mitchell's serve with Durant up there. I know Araya Parsons are very cognizant of Durant's ability to poach and cut balls off.
I think it's a great point, Mark.
You see them blitzing a lot more on the Durant serve. Okay, here we go. Steven Mitchell to serve, 3-4, and they're in the I formation.
That's a great volley for Mitchell.
Scrambling from Araya.
Yeah, it's good job from Durant to make him move up and then back.
And the harder to get is the louder he groans. I think it's a groan or a moan.
I think it's more of like it's like a shouting groan. It's like a shown.
Like,
I don't know.
I'm working really hard to get this ball.
It's something like that. Oh, he's playing with fire there, but he comes up with it. That ball that he switched cross court to the Parsons backhand, he was lucky to get away with. Great hands on the volley, keep him in the point, and then
that was
ball.
Don't try that at home.
I mean, I think he's going to lose that more. He's going to win it, but he got that one for sure.
That ball almost went past Durant's shoulder.
I mean, it was right next to him. He just it was a little quick for him, I guess.
I didn't know there was such a thing. All right, just again, great transition paddle.
That's a great drive, and you know, it's so funny. You know, people talk about the Parsons back, and I say it all the time. His forehand is still really good, and his volley is excellent. You know, people don't talk about his volley. His volleying is excellent.
He's volleyed really well this weekend. Beautiful day here in Springfield Hills area. It's supposed to be almost 45 degrees today. Big crowd.
West Bloomfield Township. It is a gorgeous area out here.
Got those friends that was coming to Detroit, they were like, be careful. And I was like, it's not that part of Detroit.
Oh, he can't come up with it. He could have hit it the first time, but then he thought it might be going wide, right? And then but he needed to move back while he was deciding if it was in, because he could have had it.
15-30, big moment in the match.
Yep.
Mitchell's been rock solid this game.
It's key. Again, he's a good volleyer. He'll make most volleys, but
That was not a good overhead right there. He set up the Parsons over backhand.
and then he's off the net. Can't come up with that volley low, stretching to his backhand. Out.
Boy, if Durant Mitchell can find their way out of this game, that's going to put a lot of pressure on Uriah Parsons.
It certainly will. And there Uriah goes for the body of Durant. Durant knows it. They know he shows us so well, of course. You know, Parsons, Durant playing together for 4 or 5 years.
And there Mitchell gets away with the screen drive with Parsons closing quickly.
There it is. What a
Back
shot.
to Nick.
And a fist pump from Durant. You don't see that. He just kind of walks from side to side. You know, he gives him a little mini fist bump there. I love it. A heck of a first volley that time from Mitchell.
Mitchell's really stepped up his level, Bradford. Ooh. Only Durant can make that volley.
I don't know. I think that was out.
Yeah, the one that Mitchell hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Be wide.
Tough ball to leave, though.
Raya blitzing on that ball.
Yeah, it was a great blitz, too, because what makes it so good is it forces Durant to hit the ball over to the Parsons backhand. Or it forces it to go at Raya, who's coming forward. Neither one is a good thing.
Parsons misses the lob long. We got a point for 4-all.
This is huge, and I think you're right, Mark. It's a ton of pressure on Uriah Parsons if they can get this game. Although it's only 4-4, you know, the momentum is clearly pushing the Durant Mitchell way.
Well, given that they had points,
Assuming they get this game, of course. So that
oh, what a volley from Durant.
play backs off a little, give himself a little time. Parsons actually hit it right at his volley that time, got a little lucky. See, that's the ball before. When Mitchell switches it, he's got to move over a little. It's a dangerous ball, and Parsons had a good look there, but great hold from Mitchell and no faults.
Yep, played a great
Huge
game.
difference.
Really raised his level in the last 15 minutes.
there's just no room in a match of this quality for a lot of loose errors. You know, a lot of faults, a lot of other things.
Oh, what a backhand from Parsons. Ball couldn't have been above his ankles.
Ah! Speaking of ankles, it hit him
Tarrant
in the
ankle.
foot, right in the ankle, right? Great shot. He was actually letting it go. He wasn't playing it. He just miscalculated where his body was. Nice, Mitchell.
You gotta be careful there. Great volley though in transition.
Oh, what a lob. Switch at the net, a baseline, I mean.
The blitz from Mitchell.
It's their high lob. Good blitz.
Oh, what action.
Good blitz, but Parsons just right there with the two-handed volley. Sticks it back at Mitchell. Oh, love it. He just howitzered that ball. And I love it. It's because Ariah's great. You know, the ball's going 8,000 miles an hour, and he's like, why didn't I volley that for a winner? Right. That was out. I thought that serve was out.
Called in.
Yeah.
Points for 5-4.
Mitchell was looking at the line after. All right, 40-15 is the score. Parsons, good look at the sun there.
Oh, that ball barely caught. And the Raya fans that one completely.
Yeah, I think there's sun issues there. A couple of sun issues, guys.
I'm not sure that ball wasn't going out.
The one Ariah swung and missed at?
Yeah, that hit Parsons.
Yeah.
Close.
I think Ariah tipped it too.
40-30.
Great blitz from Mitchell. He's returning terrifically. Oh! You know, as great as his backhand is, that was not easy.
Kind of feel this set slipping away from Ariah Parsons, Bradford.
Well, they were up 40-15, and then they had that point. It's only deuce at this point, but
Well, they're 15-40 at 4-3. They
right.
had 3 opportunities.
Correct.
4-1. Just feel this set going.
Advantage, Mr. Mitchell.
Ariah Parsons never really take a moment, though, to step back, you know, away from the situation. They keep plowing forward. I think it's the time maybe to say, okay, you know, we're going to play the way we play, but let's just take a moment here, even 2 seconds in between a serve to the next point. So collect yourself.
Wow.
Parsons has been going hard at the body, and Mitchell and Durant have smartly let almost all of them go.
I mean, that's 4 games in a row for Durant Mitchell, 3 of which Ariah Parsons had game points and multiple game points in.
Yep.
And failed to close. And Johan Durant will serve for the first set.
But it's almost like they play these great points, and then they get a little frantic in 1 or 2, right? And then they give a loose ball back. And that Sun point played a huge point in that game too. That was game point for them. They probably had it in the bag.
Yeah.
And then Ariah missed the ball in the Sun. You know, little things. And
The ball looked like he could win the point on.
so it's 5-4 now. Durant Mitchell. Durant serving. Now, do you think it's kind of a either or, right? When Mitchell serves, he's got to get it in the box, but he's got
Durant at the net.
Durant at the net. Now Durant may get in the box more, but he didn't that time. But you know, I think personally they can allow Mitchell to do some more of the movements here or there. There's just Ariah finishing that point perfectly.
There we see the blitzing on the Durant serve.
There's a little hand signal there. He wants it again. Just pinpoint returns. Love it. Love 40.
Wow.
All good, Durant says.
40.
See if they got another comeback in him here for Durant Mitchell in this game. He's going. I tell you, Parsons just so quick reading those situations. Oh, seam, forget.
Several really awkward overheads. Mariah Parsons in difficult positions. Well, Parsons was thinking about hitting that one.
Just missed it by a hair.
Great spot, too.
I mean, Mitchell, I think he was trying to find a way to volley. He couldn't and wisely let it go, but it only out by a hair, fraction. 15-40.
Oh, great play from Mariah.
Just a perfect position. Oftentimes when you hit that screen drive, you just pick a spot and go for it. You don't know where your opponent is, and Raya was right there that time.
Very little spin overheads from Mariah have an effect on Durant Mitchell. We've talked in the past, Bradford, about the guys that spin the ball the most, the guys that deal with the spin the best. Mitchell misses that one, and it's 5-all. Shocking, Brad. Another turn in the momentum. Who would have thought it?
5-all.
I mean, it's great stuff there, but a couple of missed lobs there. And yeah, and the guys who handle the spin, the other thing they're doing well is they're actually putting a little air on their lob. They're not just scrambling. I don't think they're placing the lob perfectly, but they're getting enough height on it so you have time to reset yourself in between the spins. Where you get in trouble is where the guy hits it, he starts putting it in the washroom. You get it back, but it's low, and then they come at you again. You have no time.
Transition.
Incredible hands all around there.
See Mitchell's face in the sun. We see if that's an issue. Durant as well.
That's just a rocket
Vicious,
ship
Nick.
into the corner.
Great view of that one.
Perfect.
See it, John Scott and the Enet boys.
We got to get a replay of that. It's a perfect ball.
Parsons with a guest appearance.
That's just a good little volley here. Oh, love that. Mitchell firing it at Parsons, and that's just a perfect spin overhead.
Great spotting of his drive from Mitchell. He really does that well.
Very reliable serve overall, Araya.
Although serving to Durant might be the hardest thing to do in the game. Mitchell misses that one.
30-all.
Miss in the last 4 or 5 games. He has feasted on the Araya serve.
He's been returning well. It's definitely a good thing. They run, that helps them, the engine run from the backcourt for them when he does.
Parsons 3 in a row.
Each one to a different spot. He's picking away at him.
Oh, Araya with a strange error. Good overhead from Durant.
But
that's
he's
what I
had
expected.
3 or 4 of those errors in this set, you know, where he's trying to do a quick lob. And yes, that is effective for him. He keeps it out in front, but he's got to be a little judicious on some balls, right? Maybe let it go to the screen. I did a little high.
There it is, game Durant
is
Mitchell.
game
Game
for
serves
Durant
the set
Mitchell.
for a second time.
You know, I kind of, you always look at spots or little moments in the match. You know, they had that 4-1 game, and we were talking about coming back to go down 5-1 versus being 4-2 for Durant Mitchell, and that, what a huge thing that is. That's the game where there were 2 missed lobs. That's sort of that block lob early off the deck. Not by much, but a couple of missed lobs and then a missed Parsons return, which sort of generated this whole Mitchell Durant comeback. Not even a comeback. Right now they're serving for the set. You'd have to say they're in the driver's seat, although you never know with these guys.
No
It turns on a heartbeat from one moment to the next. But, all right, here we go. First one, we'll get back to that.
These matches are determined by so little. You know, Raya losing the ball in the sun at 4-3. Ball is probably going to win a point on. Things like that determine matches sometimes. Mitchell's roller's really gotten good.
He hits a good snap roller. He can put it into the snowboard. He moves it around and does it pretty quickly. He sort of sets it and rolls it fast. It's a good ball.
Beat in transition there.
He did.
That's a ball he's got to stay back and let Durant take control of the net on.
Oh, I mean, Durant wasn't playing that one. They just had to lose the net at that point.
I'm saying it should have been staying back, letting Durant take
Right.
control.
Oh, gotcha. All right. He stays back and he waits to see if Durant holds the net. Great. If not, they just go back. Yeah. Gotcha.
Because he got caught in transition and had a virtually impossible volley from the service line.
I don't think these guys think any volley's an impossible
You're
volley.
probably right. Wow. Another strange miss this time from Parsons.
30-15.
All right, here we go.
Little conversation for Durant Mitchell. Durant saying, Stephen, get your serve in. I'll make every volley.
30 all.
Wow.
Great volley from Mitchell.
Great volleys.
The lead court. Parsons really leaned into that forehand.
He unloaded, and wisely they get out of the way there and just transition back. Nice spot. He realizes the confusion. He sees Araya leaning to the middle, and he just spots it down the line for set point.
Great lob from Mitchell there. Really set the whole thing up.
Come on. Nice
Oh.
shot.
Deuce, he just powers
Ball
it.
surprised him.
Nah, I think, Parsons hit it hard. He didn't soften his hands enough.
And Mitchell just missed very few volleys late.
That's a smart
Thanks,
shot.
Parsons.
The guy's traveling backwards. He can't move to left or right very well. Perfect time to use the hard overhead at the body.
Great
Perfectly
recognition
executed.
from Durant.
And he apologized. It's good courtesy to do it, 'cause hitting him is the right play, but, still hit him.
Set point number 2. Oh, Parsons
And
with his
there
bread
it
and butter,
is.
Middle of the net.
On the bread and butter backhand. That's some set. We can talk about it after the break here, Mark.
Yep, we'll be back just in a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by eNet Live.
Done. Great job. Hey, good stuff to you. Patty, good job. Yeah, a lot of fun. You guys look great out there. How long have you been playing?
Who, me? Oh, I've been playing my whole life. How about you?
Wow, I only started playing when I retired.
Someone say retired?
Looking good out there, Eli.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome back to the APTA Grand Prix Series. We just finished the first set of this epic final. Durant Mitchell, Araya Parsons. Bradford, your thoughts?
I thought it was completely entertaining set of paddle. You know, Araya Parsons played flawlessly for 5 games, you know, and then they had that one little glitch, and honestly, it just came down to these moments where Araya Parsons probably missed like 6 or 7 block lobs, you know, and I think that was basically the difference in the set, and it could have gone either way. Araya Parsons easily could have had that first set. They had a sunball to go up 5-3, then they lost, and then they just sort of lost a little bit of the control while Durant and Mitchell played better. I don't know. Anything? What are your thoughts, Mark?
Well, Brad, while we're waiting for them, let me just say that Viking is the one ball to rule them all. One ball is consistently chosen for the sport's highest level tournaments, league plays, social events, and weekend outings. Viking. For the last 25 years, we've remained the overwhelming choice. Viking, unleash the warrior in you. The official ball of the APTA, the official ball of the National Championships and President's Cup, and the official ball of the Grand Prix Series. Yeah, for me, Brad, it just came down to a point here, a point there that Parsons Araya didn't win. I mean, if you reverse that ball that Araya loses in the sun and he pegs Mitchell with it and they're up 5-3. But that's paddle. It's those points
Sure.
here and there that determine who win and lose matches.
I mean, yeah, it's really just a block. To me, it was more a couple of block lob misses and a couple of balls, but it was a great set, really entertaining. And we expect nothing less than that ball was in the fence by Araya, but you get in these exchanges, and the decision-making literally is happening in an 18th of a second. That's great pace.
I think the Araya Parsons need to kind of turn things around here. They played, after a brilliant start, they were very sketchy.
I mean, it was moments of brilliance followed by a couple of inexplicable errors, kind of, I guess is the way I describe it. It's
Which at this level is sketchy.
Hey, like we said, you miss a return, or you miss a fault at the level, make a huge difference. A fault in a match like this, and anything. This lob.
And that's just a bad choice.
And it wasn't really a highly committed. This is where Araya, he needs that one shot that will spark him again to some otherworldly level. They have to be a little dejected after losing that set, being up 4-1. What they got to do is just have short memory and get back to it. Araya, you couldn't stay there some of the time, but some of the time you got to go back. That was definitely, but I think he expected Parsons to hit that ball,
yeah.
not loft it up there. Oh, they've sort of lost their energy or something there. I mean, that to me looked like a totally
Deflated
flat
game.
game. Deflated is a perfect word. Deflated game, and you don't want to let these guys get out to that. Durant and Mitchell, if you had to say, they kind of go about their business in sort of the same vein, more so than Araya Parsons. Araya Parsons definitely, I mean, I guess you can just say maybe even just Araya, you know, like, but they're a team, right? They work together. They ride waves a little bit more. And right now it's a little down section. They got to get their energy back up after being deflated after that first set.
If they don't, they're going to be shaking hands in about 15 minutes.
Yep. Great volley. It's going to be a tough dig. Well done. Oof.
What a flick backhand.
Yeah. Yeah. Wise? I don't know, because
No.
it's not like he's got to follow up after it. So I wouldn't say that's the smart one. Oh, Mitchell in great position, and they're just missing their drives right now.
And that's the pressure Durant Mitchell are putting on them with their volleying.
Yep.
Oh. Durant. Mitchell here.
Oh.
Look at this stuff.
We got to get a replay of this.
The entire thing. Ah, such a point.
Great action.
He's got to leave that, but there's so many little moments in that exceptional point where Durant hits this lob volley, and he moves forward, and then he lets the ball go that's hard behind him because he knows Mitchell's going to crush it. It's just a great point. That's a whole highlight reel, that point.
One of Larry Bird's old coaches used to call him Kodak because he saw the court so well. You could say that for Durant. He just has such a great recognition of where everybody is and what's going on out there. Just remarkable.
Rise trying some tough shots in here, looking for a spark. 40-15. It's the other way around. I think it's 40-15 for. There we go. He gets that one right.
The thing with Uriah is he's such a high-risk, high-reward player. It's tough to be too critical of him. But when it's going bad, you would like to see him slow it down a little bit more, play a little more percentage paddle.
100%.
Right now, we're not seeing that at all.
100%. Yeah, those first 5 games they played, they were essentially flawless, right? You know, no bad choices, no missed balls on balls they could make. You know, you think you could just bottle it, but it's not being human.
Just to recap, it's love 2, love 15. Sorry, Bradford.
No, you're absolutely right. Got the score right there on the zone.
Just like
Nice.
there. That's exactly what I'm talking about with Uriah. They're struggling. He's hitting a 2-handed backhand off the deck, and then he's trying to hit a little flick backhand.
This is actually huge. If they can just get this first game, and they're down love 30 in this game, they just get this first game. There it is. Oh, it's in.
Over there, mishit
Thought
from
that was
Uriah,
out.
finds the line. Durant's average on return of serve got to be best in the country. He just so rarely misses returns.
Yeah, there's a few guys you can put in that conversation. Adoya rarely misses a return. You know, but he's right there for sure. Yeah, there you go. That's the kind of point you wanted to see, right? A little more controlled, take an offensive shot when you got it, surprises him there. Game point.
Tremendous flick backhand from Uriah. Yeah, I like that better. Lob, get out of there.
Great
slide from Mitchell.
Oh!
This is the easy one.
He went for an offensive winning volley, trying to hit it behind him, but that's a huge game for Uriah Parsons. It's 2-1 now. Get that scoreboard. It's 2-1 now for Durant and Mitchell. All right, so great start for Durant Mitchell, but that is Uriah Parsons really coming through, slowing it down a little bit there. Great flick back, and they come down from love 30. That's got to be an energy boost, right? First couple of games, they were completely deflated, and you could see it almost now, like a little bit more.
And now they've got the bounce back in their step.
Pep in the step, yeah.
Double groan moan from Uriah.
Yeah, one was like after. Like it didn't even need to be there. Just Although I can't really talk. I moan when I get out of bed, so. But that's that block lob. That's about 4 or 5 of those. And we talked about it. You know, this match is going to be decided by 5, 6 points.
Yeah, 15 all.
Oh,
What a volley!
oh, can he get this? He's off court. Oh, Mitchell just can't get there.
Such a smart shot by Parsons going behind him.
And the perfect pace. Didn't overhit it.
Durant's anticipation is just so incredible. He seems to know where you can hit the ball before you know.
Well, they're using some of that strategy we talked about a little in the keys of victory. They're going at Durant in those times, and people talk about it. We've talked about it many times on air before, Mark. You have to hit at Durant once in a while because he moves at the net so much. And they tattooed both balls right at him. He just didn't happen to move at all. He stood right there and volleyed him right back. So if you're always hitting away from Durant, he will cut them off and hit drop volleys. You got to go at him.
Team's playing very patiently right now. They recognize the moment.
Yeah, they're playing smart. They're going for the right ball, right?
Say Araya was playing smart?
I said they.
Oh, okay. Mitchell does such a good job of sliding at the net, getting himself in position to hit that backhand volley.
Short ferry, I like it. Good call. It's always good to be over communicative if you're going to be. If you're going to err on one side, paddle, be over communicative. I just read it too well, and Araya fed right into it. He thought he had a little space behind him, but Durant on top of the net, volley winner.
Part of that anticipation I was talking about earlier. Great read from Durant.
Good point for Durant. Mitchell, this is Araya Parsons, though, much better. They're back in this thing. First 2 games, so flat.
Sorry, Mark.
40-30. 40-30. Point for 3-1.
See, there's the thing we talked about, and he saw that coming, right? He saw the possibility of that coming. Let me rephrase. And then he knows that the lob goes up, that it's going to get covered by Mitchell there. It's just a great combination and another really good hold for Mitchell there. Again, down. Love 30.
15-30.
15-30? Love 30, yeah. Big hold.
You don't want to say this is a must-hold for Parsons, but we're getting close.
Yeah, I mean, look, they were down 4-1 in the first set, but, you know, totally get your point.
4-1's a little different.
Right.
You know, yesterday, we saw Rams and Wagner come back from that.
Yeah, it was actually almost the exact score. It was 7-5, 4-1 down for Rams and Wagner, and they... Oh, it's out,
Missed
though.
that one.
Great play from
Those
Araya.
mano-a-mano exchanges between Araya and Durant are just fun to watch.
It's great.
Especially when you have the wires between you and them, so you're not going to get hit.
Omas.
Great pickup from Mitchell.
Ah, come on now. That was almost like, to me, he does that, but a little afterthought. He was trying to get extra tricky on that one.
And that's a shot he pulls off 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
But to this point of the match, he can't afford to do.
He might pull it off more than 3 out of 10. I mean, he is that good. but
not enough of a percentage to make it
correct, to
worthwhile.
make it worthwhile in that instance, right? But he is the kind of player who plays with such a spark, you know, meaning one shot that he makes 3 out of 10 can lead to 3 other shots.
And that might have been one right there,
Yeah.
Bradford. That running forehand he hit,
Yeah.
had to cover a lot of ground, caught the net, and went through for a winner.
It's what makes him so unique, actually.
Oh, Parsons misses the tweener. Great job for Mitchell.
Making one low percentage shot for Araya can lead to him making more low percentage shots that he makes that actually just turn the tide, you know, for him and allow him to get, you know, be one of the best players in the country.
A rare Durant miss on the return serve gives them another game point.
That was useful.
Oh, what a volley from Mitchell. Oh, this is a pickleball point, Bradford. Oh, and he tags him in the shoulder.
Smart play.
I'd love to see that one again on
It's a
replay.
smart play.
3 games to 2, second set.
Great hold from Araya Parsons.
Here it is,
Here it is.
Bradford. Little chip. Another chip.
Think back.
Low volley. Bam.
Right at
in
him.
the shoulder.
This is all that pickleball practice has been very useful for Araya.
You saw Durant for once misanticipate.
Yeah, he was going to his forehand side and trying to read the ball on the inside.
Okay, Durant serve, 3-2, second set. Bradford, I don't know about you, but I'd love to see a third. This is just a lot of fun.
It's extremely entertaining. You know it's going to be. It's impossible for these teams to play a match that's not entertaining.
Big shout out to my buddy Nick Montalbano watching in Long Island. Oh! Oh!
Inside out backhand volley.
John Scott sends you his best, Nick, which isn't very good, honestly, but we'll talk about that another day.
Yeah, John Scott
Tremendous action
they have a racquetball connection, right?
There you go. Montalbano, one of the top racquetball players in the world. Great volley from Mitchell.
Wow. Oh, he just caught him by surprise.
That high forehand. Parsons loves that
Love
high forehand.
30. This is great stuff.
One of the things that's made Durant Mitchell so effective as a team has been Durant's willingness to trust Mitchell. Durant played with Parsons the last couple of years. You saw him reaching for so many volleys that weren't his. And you rarely see that now.
I don't know if that's a level of trust, but I think it's just also his mindset, you know, since he started playing with Mitchell.
Team 30.
Okay, so Araya calls that ball out and then realizes he's made a bad call,
That's good.
changes it.
Great sport.
15-30. Big point of the match.
That was a big point, actually. Great sportsmanship. That's 2 bouncers. No, I'm pretty sure if we get a replay of
looked like
that,
2 bounces. Did
it
you
looked
see
like
that
2
again, John
bounces
Scott?
for us.
I got it. I swear to God, I got it.
Yeah, I think we'll see if we get this. He did not get this. That bounces. As far as I see it, that bounces.
Looked like a double bounce.
He's
to me,
gonna.
too.
It's totally a double bounce.
Hard to tell.
I
Doesn't
don't
matter.
know.
Rob LeBoon called it.
You can check it, yep, $100, 100%. You can check it on the replay. My Venmo is Durant. Okay. Here we go.
Is he telling the replay? He wants the replay? It's 2 bounces. Almost 3. All right, John Scott.
Oh, look at that Durant volley from the service line.
Oh, yeah, that's an angry ball right there. That's
was no
an
intent of
angry
having
ball
that
right
land in the
there.
court.
You tell me it's 2 bounces.
40.
I'll give you 0 bounces
Did
right
it
in your
bounce
face.
twice off of your shoulder?
Yeah.
Point for 3-0.
Wow. And there it is.
That's the other problem with that side-on service. Got so much spin on it. Whenever it hits the net, it's gone.
Yeah.
Here's the exchange at the net. Match turned again, Bradford?
I mean, look, they were down 2-0. They were completely flat. They got their energy back, and they're doing what they did in the first set, and they're coming after him. And Araya actually does well when he gets not sort of that dejected thing. When he gets angry, he does well. You know, or generally, there's 2 different kinds, you know, that I've seen out there. It's good. He's fired up.
So Parsons pick off the Mitchell return. Mitchell's hit very few returns at Parsons. Look to see more of that from Parsons.
He went at the body, but that was
Mitchell
was already bailing, so there's nothing to hit at there. Just push it at him, you were fine. But he was trying to win the point right away.
Oh, what a volley from Parsons.
I got you. Switch back.
Because the most reassuring words in the game when Johan Durant says, I gotcha, I gotcha.
There you go. I would trust him as well. But, you know, going back to trust, I don't see how, you know, if you're going to play, you never really will have success unless you have trust in your partner, you know. And right now, here with the mics on, I trust you, Mark.
I trust you too, Bradford.
There you
I
go.
appreciate that. It's easier for me to trust you than for you to trust me. 40-15. Miss lob wide there.
That's a great dig.
Mitchell gets caught out of position. It's a backhand overhead long, and it's 4-3 Araya Parsons.
Second set. Durant Mitchell won the first set, 7-5.
Really good stuff. Great stuff. Araya Parsons coming right back and firing the ball in there. A couple of really tight moments, and now they're getting the little breaks. You know, when they were down 15-30 or 15-40 before, Durant Mitchell were pulling out those games. Now you got Araya Parsons coming to make some vicious ground strokes.
Similar to the first set, Stephen Mitchell will serve 3-4.
Look at that. That's going to be tough. Dig. Nice try. Gets a paddle on it, but
there's a rare blitz with Durant at the net. We've seen more of that in the second set than we saw in the first.
yeah, but that's the going back to the keys to victory we had. You know, the challenging aspect. They don't care. You know, they maybe do more the other way, but they're going to do it one way or the other when they're feeling it.
Such smart recognition by Durant. He knew that overhead was too hard. Parsons' backhand was coming and bailed early. He played the ball in transition.
And smart play by the other team not to even bother coming in.
And there Mitchell catches Parsons in transition. 15-all.
That ball came off a little hot as well. Parsons made the choice to go in. Mitchell finds a spot to hit the offensive drive.
Great recovery from Mitchell. 4 tremendous athletes. Great forehand from Mitchell, and Parsons has the answer. Just great play, Bradford. Both at the backcourt and in the net.
And there you get a little Steve Mitchell with the cat and mouse. I love it.
Play by Mitchell there, catches Araya off the net.
That was a perfectly executed dink. And Araya felt the pressure. He tried to hit a perfect dink back cross court. Couldn't come up with it.
Redford, do you think that pickleball has had any impact on this?
I mean, the dink and blitz has been around for as long as paddle's been around. So, but the actual practice of those shots could have something. That's helped it out. I mean, certainly we had a point that looked like a pickleball point before, and that's absolutely a pickleball shot there.
Big miss.
But it's a paddle shot too. So,
point for 4-all.
Great leave there from Parsons. Oh. See, that's out. That is the difference. Say, take another great player like Mark Powers, right? Mark Powers is a great volley. He doesn't miss balls, but he doesn't have that range.
Yeah, range is the
you
word I
know,
was
the
thinking.
range that, say, a Durant has. You know.
And in fairness, nobody got the range that Durant's got. Oh, what a pickup from Durant.
That's a good dunk. That's a good strike there from Mitchell.
Great
Oh, he totally fooled him there. He didn't think he had that space to roll that ball in there, and then he realized, tried to go block it. He wasn't even close. Great shot from Araya.
Oh,
He is right there. I mean,
all you'd expect him to make.
it's a good shot. You're going to miss a couple.
15-all. Oh, it gets away with that one. That was a questionable decision. Mitchell misses that one wide, but Parsons had no room to hit that ball. Couldn't really even extend his arms and still managed to get it past Durant at the net.
And he placed it on purpose. He just got a little close to it. That's the level of backhand he has. Level of control.
Miss long, confirmed by chair umpire Laboon.
40-15.
Point for 5-4. 2 if necessary. Oh, misses it wide. Smart went behind him, had the opening but missed it. This has been the story of the match to some degree, the inability of Araya Parsons to close out games.
Yeah, definitely they are on the, the comebacks from 15-40, 15-30 are mostly in Durant and Mitchell's favor. In fact, almost all.
Back to deuce.
Great shot. Both are good plays. Both are shots that they can make.
But didn't.
Didn't. Oof. Good spots. Great volley from Araya, closing it off. That skill to recognize when to close, huge forehand there from Durant, is so crucial in a top team. If you could, you'd spend all your time around the service line getting the lobs, but knowing when to close when your opponents are driving.
Oh. Durant got a little caught in between there. Great return from Mitchell. That was such an obvious ball Parsons was going to lob. I'm surprised Durant wasn't closer in. See if that comes back to haunt him.
That's a great return. That's going to be dead. Just perfect read. Better return that time, too. Didn't fly off the back screen, a little pointed, a little wider.
It's so quick closing the net down. Another point for 5-4.
He's in.
Oh,
Wow.
Hung in there a long time.
And there's the sun and the miss. And just about a minute and a half ago, you were going 2 points if necessary to go up 5-4. And just like that, right? The missed drive down the line, the missed poach volley, and all of a sudden it's a 15-40 comeback for Durant Mitchell. And that's sort of been the difference, if you will.
Look how long Araya hangs in here at the net, and then Parsons loses this ball in the sun.
Yep, and what's interesting about that is we just had a conversation about playing balls in the sun before we went down there today, which was funny. And then on top of that, just the amount of respect Durant has for Araya that he didn't even go at him there. He had a ball that was above the level of the net, and he hit it away from Araya. Oftentimes you'll take that ball and try to tattoo a guy with it.
Durant served for the first set, was unable to convert. Loses the first point there.
It's a great pickup. I'm not sure that
what a
Parsons
job
wants
from
to.
Parsons on that ball.
Incredible, but driving that second ball, that was tough.
There's that backhand chip from Araya.
Great shot, gets it low.
Fist means he's staying.
Love 40. It's just sort of the way it went last time they tried to close out the game.
Yeah, it was
Three
a
good
love
returns.
game then too. See if it is this time.
And they got broken at love in the first set.
By Mitchell there.
Ooh. Nice cut off there for Mitchell.
Rare to see Parsons on the backhand side of the net.
Great blitz. What hit? Oh, he hit him.
Yeah, Parsons should have thrown that ball up and retreated.
Yeah, because Mitchell was too close to the net. He tried to dink it, but there's no place to put it when the guy's right on top.
Volley from Durant.
Ooh, sneaky.
Durant's looking for that seam there. Araya catches him off the net, and it's 5-all.
How about that?
New ball.
5-all, second set.
They have really struggled with the Araya serve. They held it last time. See if they can hold it again. Mitchell just returned it so well.
Oh, Araya reads it perfectly, but overplays the volley.
15.
Big shout out to Araya's biggest fan, John Callis. I don't know if he likes Juan's pink shirt, but we'll check in on that later.
Well, you just got to ask him.
We've seen Durant get caught off the net a couple of times, which is really unusual. Part about being caught being an unusual part.
Oh, just a gift, but
Parsons
huge
with
time
great
in the match.
recognition, throws the ball back over to Durant Mitchell and goes to return serve, except his partner's serving.
Yep. That's good. He's just
In the
focused on what's next.
In the match. You said Durant's return of serve get up too much. Talk about that a little bit, Bradford. What Durant's trying to do when he's returning serve and Arias staying back.
I mean, essentially, he's trying to hit the right pace. What a shot there. Great dig. He's trying to hit the right pace where it's not flying off the screen and it's not an easy ball so they can transition into the net. And there, he knew it was overhit, so they just stay back. There's no point coming in if the guy's going to drill it back at you. The advantage is theirs. But you hit at the right pace, you can get in, and then the advantage becomes yours coming forward.
That was a brilliant backhand from Stephen Mitchell.
That was actually beautifully spotted. And Araya was fooled. Just a great, just putting it so low into that back screen. Araya was there, just a tough shot.
See if Parsons moves to cut off the Mitchell return here.
Yeah, he didn't strike it quite as hard that time. Nice pace from Araya. Catches him. Great job. He puts just the right amount of spin on it. Durant thinks he's playing it off the back screen, but then he thinks it's going to die. So
It still almost made the shot. That move with the wrist was supple.
Last second flick. He's always come up with it. Here it is again. This time he's got a good chance of coming in. Yep.
Great volley from Mitchell on the Araya blitz. Yeah, the ability to find the side wire on that forehand return is so big. The ball that goes side back is going to be a much harder ball to drive.
Oh, the topspin backhand at 30 all, 5 all.
And that's
First
a
one
shot.
we've seen in the day. I love it.
He believes in that shot.
Oh, he can make it. We've seen him make it hundreds of times. We've seen him miss it too. Sort of. That's the same story. That's a perfect pace return. You know, interestingly enough, one of the keys to victory, we did have take the net, but Durant and Mitchell really are spending a high percentage of time at the net, much more so than Parsons and Araya. And they survived by their great ground strokes.
Yeah, the first 5 games, Araya Parsons returned so well, and after that, Durant and Mitchell have really negated that. Parsons misses the backhand, and then will serve for the match for a second time.
Yeah, Mitchell served for it in the first set. Mitchell's serving for it again.
Yep, mirror images of what happened.
Great stuff, though, Mark. Incredible action.
Fun paddle. Really impressed how well Mitchell's played today, Bradford.
I mean, when they win, he plays well all the time. You can't be out here and not play well, right? You're not going to win no matter what. His role is a little different, but he's throwing in more blitzes now, attacking shots. He hit that sneaky down the line earlier on in that game.
Yeah, it was a big shot in the game.
Oh, love it.
Here's the difference in the match to me is that Mitchell and Durant have negated the returns more of Araya Parsons than vice versa.
Well, they're coming in more, too, though. Araya Parsons are not coming in, ever.
Yes, well, in part because they're returning so well. Durant Parsons are hurting him so much with return.
Yeah, but you got to come in first before you know that. You know what I mean? They haven't come in the entire match. They
Ryan normally
decided.
comes in and everything, and he started coming in and then gave up early.
That's just 2 massive returns. They are ripping.
15-30. If they're going down swinging.
I love it. That's the way they always do.
Durant in the I formation.
I like seeing that because it gives the forehand drive here now, which is a great combination. Smart. Ooh. Catches him. Great play. Oh! Oh, what a shot from Mitchell.
Oh,
and
just a brilliant play from Mitchell.
Durant
15-40.
didn't close. He just kind of stuck his arm out. Now, he can make that, but he wasn't ready to move in.
You can say that about every ball. Durant can make that.
Sure. Let's go. Oh, I love
Kind of
that.
fitting if they managed to squeeze out of another 15-40 game to hold
It
them
would
in
be
the
a
match.
fitting way for this to end. You're 100% right.
And the story of the match.
Like that ball there, he's That's just a great volley.
Volley.
Insane. But he's hitting the roller there when I feel like he could hit a cut finisher there. And it might have better success, but
What a sequence from Durant.
oh, come on.
Fight.
There's the challenge. He sees him moving into the inside.
Great look of concentration on Durant's face, keeping his head down through the ball. Oh, that was flying.
It's hard to tell. Araya certainly thought it was. Good look from Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell beats him to the spot.
And he read it perfectly. He actually knew Araya was sneaking that ball behind him to the side. He just all over it.
Love Mitchell's willingness to make the play in the big moments. 2 points for the match.
That's just a rip.
Such confidence, Mariah. Flew the last one long, came back and made that one. Little chat from Durant Mitchell. Huge return from Parsons, and we'll play a breaker, Brad.
Let's go.
6-all,
Let's-
second set.
Let's get it on.
Any sense who you like in the breaker, or whoever
Oh.
wins the most points?
I like just more entertaining paddle and whoever wins the most points.
Yeah. This has been a lot of fun. I do think we need to come up with a new name for this, because paddle is the sport that everyone else plays. This is a different game.
Well, this is kind of, you can do so many things in so many sports, right? And you can play it every different way. This is sort of like the fun, entertaining way to do it. But if you're a player with certain different skill sets, you got to play a different way to have the maximum success.
And
with
Araya
these.
and Durant have different skill sets. I think the only other one I'd put in that category is probably Nick Cordoya. Maybe Mark Powers.
I mean, these guys all, but they all have incredible skill sets, and Parsons' ability to drive the ball, both wings. You got Mitchell's got a great one. They all have incredible skill sets,
They're
but
so generous. They all have incredible skill sets. Do you like participation trophies too?
I'm going to give you one for today's performance.
That
Did
was
well.
my first trophy. Parsons with a deep drive there. Great pace. Tough ball. That's one of
Quickly
those
2 love
50-50
down.
balls. Mitchell can make it, but should he?
Ryan Parsons.
Really want a third, Brad. This is just too much fun
yeah.
to end.
Why not? Let's go.
Oh, that's a missile.
I mean, it's interesting. Part of what we were talking about before is how they've done a better job dealing with their returns, but still, the Araya Parsons returns, they're just rocketing them.
Decision by Parsons, let that ball through.
It's virtually the same ball he had on that point before, but he hit that one with more confidence. And he also hit it to the long part of the court, cross court versus down the line. He just changes a little higher part of the net, a little less court.
Great read from Araya on that Knicks.
Got to get hammered. Yep.
Not coming in. Oh, and Durant missed it with both of them back.
We love.
Beautiful day here at the Orchard Lake Country Club. Just a great scene, Brad. Crowd gathered around the court. Oh, what a dink
Around the post. He gets the money worth on that one. Great shot.
3-1. Ryan Parsons.
Elias hit every single serve into the pocket there. He hasn't gone down the tee one single time.
Out one.
Mitchell. Really
Mitchell's
surprising.
hit a lot of good returns.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
think he'd change it up a little bit.
Well, you've known Araya a long time.
I'm not going to confirm that, nor did I.
Would you think that, or?
I would think he'd change it up, yeah. Surprising miss from Durant there. I don't know if he picked that ball up. He just looked behind it the whole way, didn't he?
Yeah, so far the tiebreaker's been a couple of misses here from Durant and Mitchell, and they're down 4-1. Oh! Make that 5-1.
5-1. Did he say sorry, Johan? Was he hoping that Johan's not going to hit him next time he has the opportunity? Because if he is, that would be foolish.
He has been just teeing off on that all day.
5-1. There we go, Ryan Parsons. Oh, boy, he had Mitchell deep in the court, too.
5-2, Ryan Parsons.
Okay, so Raya shifts into I formation. You think this is coming right at him from Durant? Up. Just an amazing pickup from Durant.
Did he make it?
5-3.
No, he
No.
missed it.
Yeah, it's interesting when you don't get the view here and
Yeah.
you got to kind of wait for the umpire. Rob LeBoon's call.
And Parsons faults for 5-4.
And that's the little blurt, right?
Yeah.
There's the moment. None of those points really won by Durant, Mitchell. All right, 4-5.
Woo!
5
The
all.
wires were there, Bradford. That might have tagged us. I was bailing behind you.
That was kind of a frightening camera angle. It did look like it was coming right through the monitor here.
Winner of this point will have a set point, and if it's Durant Mitchell, it will be a match point.
Great volley from off the net there from Mitchell. They're coming after him. Oh,
Another missed
and that's
forehand from
5 in a row for Durant Mitchell. And none of them winners, right? None of them winners from Durant Mitchell.
Successive forehand mitches from Mariah, and that brings us to match point. 5-6.
Serve into Durant. Serve and stay back. Spin the play. Can't imagine he's changing it now.
Misses
And
the
there it
forehand.
is. Almost a shocking turn of events, but in a strange way, not so much, Mark.
The way the match unfolded, right? That wasn't a 40-15 or 40-love. That was a 5-1 lead in the breaker.
Yeah, but a 5-1 lead in the breaker. Let's just review those points. We had miss forehand, miss return, fault. You know,
Miss forehand, miss forehand.
yeah, right. It was, and they were going for their returns the whole day. So the one he hits out, he hit out. He hit 3 or 4 out before 2. It was actually a fantastic match. I'd be curious as to the overall stats about it, you know. But Durant Mitchell clearly coming back from 15-40 a couple times and just played sort of a more even game. Araya Parsons, more highs, more lows.
Okay, Bradford, you want to grab the interview with Durant Parsons?
No, you can go get it.
Okay.
You're
Bradford,
all on it.
I will take care of it.
Mark's
We're gonna
interviews
take
are
a
the
fast
best.
break, and then we'll be back with an interview with our winners.
Done. Great job. Hey, good stuff to you. Patty, good job. Yeah, a lot of fun. You guys look great out there. How long have you been playing? Started playing when I retired.
Someone say retired?
Looking good out there, Eli.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the APTA Grand Prix Series, where we just had an incredibly entertaining final between our number 1 seeds, Durant and Mitchell, and our number 2 seeds, Araya and Parsons. And just a 7-5, 7-6 victory for Durant and Mitchell, entertaining throughout. And some highs and lows, but the shot making was just exemplary all match. Mark Fischel's going down to do an interview with our winners. And just another heavyweight battle out there. And first, before we go on to the interview, I'm just going to throw out a bunch of thanks to everyone here, to our production crew, John, Scott, and Ed, to the head pro here at Orchard Lakes Country Club, Lincoln, to all the clubs in the area. It's just a gorgeous spot up here in and around Birmingham and West Bloomfield Township. Just incredible work that everyone did here, to Ann Sheedy, to Karen, to Amin Kaduri. So thanks to everybody who put on this tremendous event. And we're going to be right down with you. And for everybody, we're going to be on with the Westchester Open next on January 7th and 8th. That'll be our next live streaming event. And we're going to throw it down to Mark Fischel with our winners.
Have your plot.
So I should flex, then you say.
Okay, welcome back. I'm with the winners of the 2021 Detroit Invitational, Stephen Mitchell, Johan Durant. Guys, a little bit of a slow start, 4-1 down. What turned the tables for you, Stephen?
I think we try to slow it down a little bit more, lob a little higher, and get into the points a little more. It helps me with the rhythm, so that was the game plan. Yeah.
And Johan, your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, it's a good match. A lot of up and down momentum, I would say, right? We're up, then we go back down. They're up, then they go down. But, you know, it's kind of the speed we play. Sometimes that gets carried away. But, hey, happy to come out with a win.
You guys have won so many games from 15-40, 30-40 down, especially in the first set from 4-1. They had points for 5-1, 5-2, and 5-3, and you guys negated them time and time again. You really played the big points well today, I thought.
Well, thanks. I didn't actually know that. That was my partner just telling me to play 1 point at a time, and that's kind of the motto, is just play 1 point at a time. And you never know what can happen. Even in the break, I think we were down 5-1, and then it was the same thing. Just get one, get another one, and see if you can get back into it. So.
Johan, when are we going to see you guys again?
I think Boston Open, yeah. Looking forward to it.
Okay, well, congratulations, guys, our 2021 Detroit Invitational Grand Prix champions. And that's a wrap, and we'll see everybody next year.
Thank you very much.